are now joined by Joey McGuire. You're exactly right, Craig. Head coach at Texas Tech. What's up, man?
How you doing, guys? Good to see y'all.
We're doing well. We were just talking about Scadaboo at Arizona State. You have Taj Brooks, and, I mean, there's just really Giddens at K-State. There's a lot of these running backs. You faced Scadaboo. Now, you won that game. It was a huge win, and you guys are winning games. How would you describe him?
Really physical. You know, we played really, really well on defense. I mean, we held him to 60 yards rushing. Now, he did we brought a sim pressure, and they threw a pass to him out of the backfield, and he ended up catching it and going about 60, 65 yards. But as far as, man, he is I listened to some of the things y'all were talking about. He is a battering ram. I mean, he is a very physical runner. He's got great balance. And the more you give him the ball, I think the better he gets.
You guys, your first couple games, Joey, I know were heartburn games for you. I mean, all games are probably heartburn games one way or the other. But you guys have really come together. Arizona State game was one of them where you had to tough it out on defense. You had to ward off that. How much does a win where you don't win it maybe necessarily in the normal style you're used to build confidence of, hey, we just held this team to 22 points here and contained Camp Scadaboo as much as anybody has?
Yeah, it was big. You know, that was you're opening Big 12. You're opening against they're a really good football team. You know, all the way across the board, defensive front, linebackers, and man, it was a huge win. You know, and man, those first two games, really all of them. I mean, I think I had more hair when this season started, and I don't have a lot of hair anyway. And we're just finding ways to win games, and we found a way to play good defense against those guys, and found a way to win the game.
Coach, been really impressed by your wide receiver group. I mean, there's just a ton of targets for Baron Morton out there, and maybe not guys who were the first names off everybody's lips when thinking about the best receivers in the country, but certainly in the league right now, you've got multiple guys who are making big plays for you. Just how have you seen that group grow alongside the rest of this offense? Yeah,
you know, that was I thought that we made a big upgrade when we went and got Josh Kelly out of the transfer portal, and then Caleb Douglas. You know, we had a relationship with him. Actually, whenever I was at Baylor and Juice was at Baylor, he wanted to come back to Texas. And so I thought those were two big additions. And then Coy Aiken, he ended the year in such a good way. He's just built off of it. So, you know, that's one thing offensively. We have Taj Brooks, and man, I think he's the best back in the country. But that's the one thing that's really helped us be balanced is we're better at the receiving core. We have more guys that, you know, can go get the ball. And then you add in our tight ends. I mean, we were really, you know, he spreads the ball around a lot. I mean, Josh is leading it, but, you know, Coy and Caleb have a lot of catches too.
Joey, sometimes when you hear about a team that plays so hard, it might not be a team that's winning a lot. Man, they play so hard. But you guys are winning. You're winning the close games, which we all know the history of the Big 12. Whoever can do that is usually playing sometime in early December. And then, of course, at a bowl game or more. But you really have a team that seems like they love to play the game. Is that a compliment to everybody involved?
Yeah, I mean, it has a lot to do with the coaches and the strength staff. I mean, everybody in this building. I go back to 2019, and y'all remember this, how many close games we played in 2019 with Charlie Brewer, you know, leading us down right at the end, played great defense, you know, just tough teams. And that's the thing. We did a deep dive in who we were last year. We lost two games last year. Wyoming and Oregon were one, you know, single score games, and we lost. And in February, all we talked about as a coaching staff is just whatever game it is, whatever's going on, let's just find a way to win that game. I mean, there's going to be shootouts like Cincinnati and when we played them, and then there's going to be games that are going to be close games like the Arizona State game, or close games to get like the Arizona game, to where you just got to continue to just find a way to win the game. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. You know, I would love a 14-point win or a 21-point win, but it's not where we're at. And so we're just going to try to get the game into the fourth quarter and, you know, fight our tails off to come out, whether it's a 1-point victory or a 7-point victory, whatever it is. That's kind of, we're okay with that. You know, that's the one thing this team is. We're okay with it. We're gonna fight all four quarters and, you know, see what happens.
Okay, Coach, if I wanted to tackle Taj Brooks, if I'm squared up on him, what's the best way to do that? Would it be business decision and just try to swoop him up, or just don't?
Just don't. You know, I'm telling you, man, the guy is – I've never been around a running back quite like him because, you know, his feet are always moving, but he might not be going forward or going to the side. He's so patient. And then whenever he gets going, he's 230 pounds. I mean, I don't know what he squats. I think we stopped him at 650 last year and just said, hey, there's no reason to squat any more than this. And he's just – and then the great thing about him, man, the guy is just a great human, man. He's fun to be around. He's a great leader. You know, he's a college graduate. I mean, he checks every box. That's what I tell every scout. He's going to be a great guy in the locker room. And then I think he's the best all-around back when you're talking about he's got great hands. He's very physical in pass pro. And then he just has a knack for making people miss and falling forward.
What's it been like to see so many young guys playing defensively? I mean, you guys have a very bright future as a result of that, I'd imagine. But at the same time, there's those growing pains as well. So just what's that dynamic been like, and how encouraging has it been to see the growth on that side of the football?
Yeah, it's exciting because we have, man. I think there was a stat after the first or second game that we were playing the youngest team on defense and how many snaps our guys were playing. But, you know, it's exciting. We've been banged up. You know, we didn't have Lux for 3 games or 2 games, and he makes a big difference, our number 1 corner. You know, and so we had to play some young corners, and then we've been banged up at safety. I'm just proud, you know, guys come in and we try to get the game plan to where they can play really fast. And, you know, you just got to adapt to what you have. I thought that was really big against Arizona because, you know, we were playing with our 3rd free safety. You know, he had played some corner. We were banged up, but guys got through the game. And then, you know, we had to leave some guys at home just because you could only dress 70 of some guys that we didn't know we could play that night. And so we were really young playing against a really, really good offense, especially a passing offense. They're pretty special.
Joey, Baylor has struggled again, and they just seem like about the time maybe they've turned the corner, they get a punt blocked or something happens, or they start poorly, or they start well. And you watched them. That's what you're getting ready for now. What is the biggest concern for you with them? Is it that they have not put 2 halves together and that's about to happen? And is that keep you up at all?
Yeah, it keeps me up. They're a good football team. I mean, honestly, they could easily be 4-2. You know, I thought, I mean, whenever, and I've listened and I've watched them, and, you know, they had a bad start against BYU, but then they're throwing the ball in the end zone to win that game, you know, and they had a good start against Iowa State. But, God, you go back to that Colorado game, I mean, that they played 4 quarters to 1 drive. I mean, it's just 1 drive and 1 play. And I think Sanders is the best quarterback in college football. By far, he is the best quarterback in college football. I don't think there's another quarterback in the nation that could play in that offense, do what they do, and play at the level that he's playing at. It's just my opinion, but I think he's really special. And, you know, right up into that last drive and that last throw, they had that game won. And, man, it's hard to come back from those games. And you said it perfect, man. I'm nervous. Do they, you know, come out and play 4 quarters against us? I expect they do. I mean, they haven't stopped playing hard. And then I know the old guys on that team. You know, I got to coach them. I know how hard they're going to play on Saturday. And so it's the Big 12, man. I heard Kenny Dillingham say it, man. You look up and you look at a score and you're like, man, how did that happen? Or, man, I didn't think that was going to happen. That happens every single week in the Big 12. And so we've got to do a great job of preparing for a really good football team. I do think Sawyer has brought a lot of life to that offense. So, you know, they've been able to score some points. And so we've got to do a good job of preparing for them.
It is a different offense than you guys have seen the last couple of years when you've played them. Very, very different. It's more similar schematically to yours, but still Jake Spavital's system is different. Does that present challenges for the guys who kind of, think they may know Baylor a little bit more and have to know something else this year?
Yeah, they, Spav's kind of out of the same tree as Kitley and Kingsbury and Dana, Dana and Holgerson and everybody. They've all got some of Leach's air raid in it. I think Sawyer's done a good job of running that offense. The receivers give you, they like Hal Presley just keeps making big plays. Josh has done a great job in the red zone. I think he's got 4 touchdowns over the last few games in the red zone. They've got 2 really good slots, that can create problems when you're in space. And so we've played similar offenses, but those similar offenses have given us a lot of trouble. And so we've got to do a good job. We're getting healthier. Like Baylor, I think both of us will be as healthy as we've been, coming off this bye week. And so that's going to be good for both teams. But we've got to play well on defense. And one thing that we've been able to do is we caused a lot of turnovers, and we've scored off those turnovers. I think we scored 59 points in the last 4 weeks off of turnovers, and we've got to do the same thing on Saturday.
Coach, is that your new office? Are those part of the new digs? I don't think we've talked to you since the summertime, and just how all that transition has been going and having all that, I guess, pretty much done, or if not all done. What kind of a boost is that giving the program?
Yeah, it's incredible. This is the south end zone. My office is split. I've got a working office, and then I got what we call the closing room. It's pretty cool. I hope if y'all get to come out here on Saturday, it's going to blow your mind. The Jones AT&T Stadium looks really different. That south end's closed in. The double T is high as it once you see it, it really does. The first time you see the south end zone when you've been out here and watched the game, it's absolutely a game changer. It makes it so much louder. Also, we've got a new sound system, and then it closes in this end with the sound, and so it will be a louder environment on Saturday.
Joey, is there still any additional emotion with this game with you because you were here with Matt Rule, and then, of course, you left in the middle of the year because the opportunity was there for you to take over and start working on the offseason? Is there anything extra emotionally for you here? I'd be lying to say that there wasn't, because there is. Man, I love that place. It was so good to me and my family. Garrett's a Baylor Bear, and it'll always have a special place. I'm at Texas Tech because of my time at Baylor, and there's still some of the older guys that, Garmin Randolph and Matt Jones. I coached both of them as a position coach. They're like family to me. Steve Linton was on my team last year. He's like family to me. So, I've got great care factor for those guys, great care factor for that coaching staff that I was a part of. But I do think that it's more like playing TCU, more like playing Oklahoma State, more like playing K-State from the standpoint of we're far enough removed. We both won games, and so it's a little bit different feeling. And then, man, we're right now, all we're trying to do is to get 1-0 and try to go 4-0 in the Big 12. So the mindset is like, we really don't care who we're playing. We just got to find a way to win that game. And so I think it's a little bit different than it has been the last 2 years. Last year was really emotional going back there. That was and Garrett was on the sideline. He had a bye week that week. And so that was pretty emotional last year. But I think we're kind of a little bit farther past that. And I have a great respect for those guys. And, I wish them luck for the rest of the year. I just want to get them on Saturday. You've had those issues with the games early in the year. You cleared that hurdle. Here you are at 5-1. You've won 4 in a row. You had the loss in Pullman, but now you got the win in Tucson. How important for the program, not just the wins, but doing that on the road in Arizona, and then also winning some close games? That's kind of it. And again, you still have to win others, but it seems like giving you an opportunity to be a part of the conversation at the end of November.
Yeah, one of my favorite words you just said, opportunity. We talk about it all the time, and not letting it pass you up, being ready for it. the Pullman game, they're a really good football team, but 28 didn't play, and 28's playing this Saturday. He really leads us, and so we always feel good whenever he's there. These close games have been big because I think it shows a toughness in your team, and it shows a belief in what you're trying to do as a program. And then it's been big for everything in recruiting, and the donors and our, we sold out again. The Baylor game, the Colorado game's already sold out. The West Virginia game should be sold out. And so, I mean, it's making a big difference on this campus.
You have the Mahomes factor, of course, the new uniforms and much, much more. What are you wearing Saturday in that game against Baylor?
Well, it's homecoming, and whenever I close my eyes and think about Texas Tech, I think of a black helmet, red jersey, and black pants. And so we're wearing our traditional look for homecoming, and I will tell you, not only the South End Zone has been a game changer, Patrick and what he's done, Adidas and that partnership has been a game changer. I mean, I think our fans are really excited by what we're wearing. It's a very traditional look. Whenever you look at every single week what we've worn, and we've had a lot of good reviews, and then it's huge whenever you have Patrick come in and get to talk to the team, and we put out his uniform that we'll wear in a few weeks, but this week we're going with our traditional look and getting ready for a really great game.
Great to see you, man. Thank you so much I know you're busy. Other people want to talk to you too. Thanks for giving us time, and appreciate anything you give us when you have, especially during a game week.
Yeah, man, you know what I think about you guys and the job that you guys do. So I'm always here, and man, I just appreciate y'all, and welcome to all the Central Texas Red Raiders. I hope you are listening.
All right, they are. Joey McGuire, heck, they're all over the place. We have a huge contingent of Texas Tech alums and fans that are in the chat room. So there's Joey McGuire from Texas Tech on their game Saturday against Baylor. Last year, Taj Brooks, 170 yards, 31 carries. They couldn't tackle him. They're not the only team that couldn't do it. Morton threw 3 touchdowns, and they were just beating them up. Baylor had no chance in that game, losing 39-14.